My name is Judith Byler. I'm Head of Sustainability at Walter Matter in Geneva. We are a family-owned coffee and cocoa merchant with more than 100 years of history. We work with suppliers across Latin America, Africa and Asia, and supply both small and large clients, mainly in Europe. With the EUDR, nearly all our business must be verified. So we went from a few certified flows and projects to proof checking nearly everything overnight. And also the type of proof, the type of evidence that has to be provided to show that we are compliant is completely different, because with EUDR we need plot level data that is verifiable and that is provided along with evidence. At Walter Matter, we don't have large field teams or in-house geospatial specialists. We receive data from many suppliers in various formats, often with errors in geometry or coordinates. So we needed something that could accept imperfect real-world data, process it at scale, and still produce reliable results. Many solutions we saw either came without data pre-processing solution, or it was offered, but at a price we simply could not afford. So Picterra came to us and pitched us a technology solution. And if at first we were not really convinced, we thought maybe their technology was a bit of an overkill. After a few conversations, we realized that they were having an increased understanding of our needs and that they could really provide us the solution that we needed according to our capacities and our specific needs. Our sustainability team worked directly with their data scientists and engineers. We shared messy, real operational data. They adapted models and workflows around our reality. The feedback loop went both ways, which is why the result is usable by non-experts and fits trading operations. So it reflects both technological and operational constraints. It allows a team of non-experts, people with no GIS background, to upload a large quantity of geolocation data and receive a deforestation risk assessment in minutes. And this platform provides us with maps and reports that are completely transparent in the way they are built, that we can explain and share either with our suppliers because there are risks to address, or with customers because they need it for their own due diligence or legal obligations. It's quite big actually. Since we started about 2 years ago, I think we've analyzed nearly 500,000 different plots from 26 countries for 2 commodities. We are currently working with 160 different suppliers and farmer groups, and we've already been able to verify over 1,000 shipments and share data with dozens of customers. So what we don't want to do is to exclude immediately plots that are flagged with risks. We know that some of the risk has to be further investigated before we can reach a conclusion. So what we will try and do is to use maybe higher resolution images or other remote sensing solutions that we might have. Only when we really have to, we go back to the supplier and request additional evidence, maybe from internal audits or certification that hopefully they already have. And only when we are really not able to show that the risk is negligible, then we need to exclude the plot from our EUDR sourcing. I think it really allows us to have a more productive technical conversation. We're not just requesting documents or accusing of non-compliances. We are actually providing support and answers about what's going on because we understand the risks that are flagged by the system. We can explain and we can support them in finding additional evidence or information exactly where it is needed. The tool really allows us to have a technical, informed discussion with our customers. We're not just sending them a glossy PDF saying, don't worry, everything is in order. We provide detailed reports that we can walk them through and really explain why we've reached the conclusion that the shipment is compliant. Receiving the Innovative Partnership Award was a very strong signal for us. It recognized not only the technology, but also the way the solution was built, through real collaboration between a traditional merchant and a GeoAI company. For us, it validated the decision to take a risk on a new kind of partner and to invest time in co-development rather than choosing a more conventional but less transparent option. I think for our company at the beginning, there was a concern that deforestation risk assessment we would produce and propose to our customers might not be trusted because we are a relatively small company and we don't have teams on the ground and there are few intermediaries between us and the farmers. A system like Tracer, with the level of transparency and the fact we co-created it with experts that walked us through the process of building the system and creating the deforestation risk assessment methodology that is within the platform, it gives us the authority to say that the reports we are sending are sound. We learned a lot about remote sensing and GIS. I wouldn't say we've become experts, but we've learned to interact with a company who is a specialist company. And we've also learned that if we open the doors to completely different actors and cultures and let them teach us and show us how things can be done efficiently, we can really grow as a company and innovate. We use it for coffee and cocoa, but the approach is commodity agnostic. The same methods can be applied to palm, to soil, rubber, timber, and other regulated commodities. The core need, which is plot level environmental verification, is shared across many different supply chains. So obviously, we invested in this project for compliance purposes, but really such a platform can allow us to do much more than what is a legal obligation. The potential for other environmental monitoring issues like carbon or regenerative agriculture are endless. And the efficiency of the system means that we can tackle new issues, new projects with a lot more rapidity than we had at the beginning of the project tackling EUDR. So really, maybe it's a bit cliche, but I think the sky is the limit. I think with such a platform, we have eyes on the ground. It's the first time that we can visually see on a global map where the farmers we depend from are physically. We can see these clouds of points and these polygons, and this really helped us get a better grasp of our supply chains and where the commodities we purchase and sell come from. And it also allows us to see gaps and risks and where we should focus our attention, at least in terms of environmental risks. And I think we've seen what climate is doing to our sector, the risks it poses. So having eyes on the ground from our headquarters in Geneva and being able to have all this wealth of information in our interactions with suppliers, it really makes us much stronger and better informed when we decide where we source from. We are a quite traditional commodity merchant focused on operations and very risk aware. Picterra is rooted in geospatial AI and data science culture. We kept sharing real operational constraints and very messy real world data, and they were adapting models and workflows to address them. We purchased the tool, but really what we built were the working method together. Today, my team can run assessments and interpret results without needing a GIS background. It means that I can sit here and explain it to you. We've seen solutions promising the world with probably an amazing technology, but that at the end of the pitch, I was unable to explain why it worked, and I was not provided with a document showing me the guts of the system. Tracer is built like this. Tracer really shows how the data you put inside the system intersects with layers of information that are backed by public institutions. And there's no mystery. So when you get a positive or a negative result, you can really explain why, and the same result can be found with a different system. Very fast, if the data can be processed, which is the case most of the time, because this is how the system was built, so that it can ingest all sorts of formats, all sorts of quality levels, and flag only the data flaws that really make the data unexploitable. So of course, it can be a bit longer with certain suppliers that need more support, or certain data sets that need a bit more processing, but if the data is fairly okay, we can really get a deforestation assessment on thousands of data points in minutes. EUDR completely changed our workflows. Sustainability teams used to be involved only on the supply chains that were managed with some sort of sustainability scheme, like a certification or a project, a sourcing program. And the rest, the conventional commodity, didn't really go through our services, let's say. They're covered by commitments and good practices. With EUDR, everything flows through us, or at least everything that goes to the European Union, which in our case is nearly all our business. So we not only had to learn how to do the verification, but our verification had to fit into our operations that are already very fast and complex, with all the logistics and financial and market uncertainties and fluctuations.